Jeff Pender. You might notice things look a little different here. We are coming to you from our new studio in downtown Jackson. New look, new year, new legislative session. Appreciate you tuning in, and we would ask if you're watching us on YouTube that you subscribe and hit the like button. And anyway, we have a special guest today. He's no stranger to this show, but he's not been here in his new position. We have Jackson Mayor John Horhn. Mayor, welcome.
Jeff, it's great to be here, and what a great new facility for Mississippi Today. WJDX, first network radio operation in the state. I think WLBT got its original start here as Lamar Broadcasting Tower, something like that. And so, yeah, this is appropriate for Mississippi Today.
Great. Well, Mayor Horhn, as I said, has been on here before, but that was in his previous role. He spent 32 years in the state Senate before having this maybe momentary lapse of reason and deciding to drink from the fire hose of city government.
It's two fire hoses.
Two fire hoses. Really appreciate you joining us.
Well, good to be here.
Look, some somber, horrible, terrible, whatever you want to call it, bad news first. I was going to ask you. We're recording this on the heels of the arson at the Beth Israel Congregation.
That's right.
In Jackson. Is there any update there? We've seen we have an arrest.
Well, yeah, a 19-year-old has been arrested, and he actually was injured in the course of committing the arson as he was splashing gasoline over the library and the entryway and offices of Beth Israel. He splashed some on him, and it washed over on him. So when he started the fire, he incinerated as well, and wound up having to drive himself to the hospital, according to the footage that we have. It's really an unfortunate situation. We thought that Mississippi was beyond this sort of thing. We had in 1967 the bombing of Beth Israel Synagogue, and the home of Rabbi Nussbaum, who led the Jewish community here in Jackson, and he has expressed support to condemn racism and segregation, and as a result of that, his home was firebombed, and the synagogue was firebombed. And we thought that we were beyond those days, but here we are again.
Well, hopefully the mad ravings of a single lunatic.
I think that there may be a possibility that this will be declared to be a hate crime, but we're waiting on the FBI to continue and finish their assessment of the situation, where formal charges will be brought. And we're just waiting, I think, like the officials at Beth Israel to hear what the FBI finally concludes in this matter.
Sure. Thank you for the update on that. A lot of issues to talk with you about. Could go on and on, but one thing in the news lately I wanted to ask you.
Well, before we do, I do want to mention that this coming Thursday, last Monday or Tuesday, my office announced that we were issuing a faith-based call to action, where we're inviting church leaders, ministers, rabbis, priests to attend at 6 o'clock this coming Thursday.
Sure.
This call to action at the Thalia Mar Hall, where we're going to invoke prayer on behalf of the city of Jackson, and just coincidentally, this issue has happened. So we've invited President Schimper, Zach Schimper, to attend and have words in light of the situation with Beth
Sure.
Israel.
That is 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Thursday.
This coming Thursday, yes.
At Thalia Mar.
Yes, the
Okay.
15th, January 15th.
Sure. Well, like I said, lots of issues would like to touch on with you. One of them being Jackson Water.
Yeah.
Been some news again lately on that. Where do you see things standing there? I guess, for lack of a better way to ask it, do you trust Jackson Water that the utilities working in the best interest of the city, or what's going on there?
Well, I think they're working in the best interest of the city as best they know how. And let me say that I want to commend Ted Hennepin and Jackson Water. Hennepin is the interim third-party manager that who was appointed by Judge Henry Wingate, who took over the water system when the Department of Justice assigned it to him through EPA, and did yeoman's work in the first few months of dealing with the restoration of our water treatment facility. Sure. And some of our sewer services. And we have some viability of our water and reliability that it's safe to drink, and we can transmit it. But I don't know that Jackson Water has been as good as they could have been in managing within the resources that they have the system. And so you might recall that we had $600 million, which EPA appropriated for the cleanup and restoration of our safe drinking water system initially. About a year later, the judge was awarded the sewer operations, and so Jackson Water is now managing both of those actions, and so we burned through out of that 600 million, 150 million was for operations and maintenance, and 450 million for capital costs. And Jackson Water burned through that 150 million pretty quickly, and right. And then on top of that, spent another 75 million from collections of ratepayers' fees for use of and having access to water and sewer systems. And so we're upside down right now. And Jackson Water has been saying consistently the only way out of this is a rate increase.
Right.
But in the same breath, they say the rate increase will not be enough to cover the deficit that they're experiencing right now. So what we're saying is let's look for some other solutions. First of all, let's tighten our belt. You've been issuing no bid contracts to providers of folks who are providing these services, and we think that there might be a more reasonable cost to pay for those services. And we won't know until we get a competitive bidding process going. Number two, we're upside down on our collections and billing. The billing fluctuates, depending who gets billed and how many folks get billed. There are 4,000 to 6,000 people, ratepayers. 4,000 to 6,000 water users who are not ratepayers because they don't have accounts.
Right.
And then there's another anywhere from 12 to 16,000 folks who are getting the bill who aren't paying their bills every month. And so 65% of the ratepayers are carrying the system or trying to carry the system right now. Right. And we think that we have got to be a lot more aggressive in terms of finding those stranded water users who don't have accounts, as well as be a little bit more forceful and successful in getting that 14 to 16,000 ratepayers who are getting the bill but who aren't paying the bill. We've got to do a better job of that. And so we're saying to the judge, in fact, there's a status hearing as we speak right now going on before Judge Wingate to see where we get to and whether he is going to approve a rate increase or not. And we certainly, if there is a rate increase, we certainly don't think that the average ratepayer, Jackson has a lot of poor people in this community, and they've about had all they can take in terms of paying their water bills, some of which are very egregious in terms of the amount that they're having to pay on a month-to-month basis.
Well, I know we could have a full episode
Oh,
on
yeah.
that issue, and we will follow up with you on that as things progress. One other thing going on, I believe you had interviews last week for a new police chief, and beyond that, I believe we saw some relatively new crime statistics that appeared to be heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
Correct? I guess. Can you address both of those, perhaps, where you stand in the
Sure.
search?
We once Chief Wade retired back in August of last year, we began the seminal stages of beginning a search. However, we could not begin the search legitimately until after the fiscal year began because we didn't have it in the budget to conduct a search. But we were able to recruit a really good search committee here locally. Colonel Charles Haynes, and he's former Highway Patrol chief as well as head of the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations. And he was joined by co-chair George White, who's a U.S. Marshal, retired from the Southern District. And then we had a number of citizens from all over the city who participated with the search. And we recruited a group that's considered to be the lead nationally focused organization that does police searches for different communities, called PERF. And don't ask me what that acronym is.
Sure.
It's PERF. But they did a great job and were able to review 32 applicants. We whittled that down to 7. And I guess we called them the quarterfinalists, and then we're now at the semifinals, finalist level, where
Okay.
4 candidates are in the running: a white male, a black female, 2 black males, two from Mississippi, one who's within JPD, one who's formerly with JPD, and now serving as police chief in another part of the state, and then 2 out-of-state persons, one of who's out of New Orleans, who's been running the 4 toughest, we call them precincts, but they call them districts in New Orleans, the 4 toughest, the Ninth Ward, as well as the French Quarter. And then the young lady is out of Virginia and the D.C. area. Has an academic background, but started as a beat cop, and she also was involved with the takeover of Charlottesville after the Klan and neo-Nazi marches and riots that happened in
church
Charlottesville. Yes, and so. We've got 4 really good candidates.
Great. Sounds like you're going through the proper critical path to
Yes.
to
Well,
get
we'd like to
these,
think that we
not,
are.
not politics, so to speak.
Well, of course, politics rears its head
Sure.
a whole lot in any of these matters, but we have 4 very credible and very accomplished candidates. And it's getting tough to decide, which way we go to select that final candidate from here. But I think at the end of the day, we're going to get somebody who's a consummate professional, who can help bring some disruptive and transformative new systems, policies, ways of doing things, training, use of technology, use of data. That's what I'm looking for. I think we've got to be more thoughtful about the use of data and technology, because police officers can't be everywhere, and there is technology that can help stretch the capacity of a police department, and we're hoping to see that in JPD.
Sure. And I'm assuming you were pleased with some of the statistics we've seen recently.
Yeah,
at
well,
least trending in
we're
the right
at,
direction.
64 homicides in the city, in the JPD portion of the city, and this time last year we had 104.
Right.
So we're really pleased with that 40% reduction in homicides. there's been a little downtick of property crimes and violent crimes that did not lead to homicides, but we certainly would like to see those numbers go down even further.
Sure. Then finally, could probably pertain to all that we've already talked about, the big shows in town, your former life, the legislature in session. Look, we've already heard a lot of folks say they're really pleased, they're hopeful, they believe you're going to be able to forge a better relationship, or kind of come into it with a better relationship between the city of Jackson and the
Yeah.
legislature.
When I first got into this office, was sworn in, I guess about a month in, and folks said, compare uh, this new job to the one you had. And I said, well, the legislature is full body contact sport, particularly when you get closer to budget time and
Right, right.
trying to decide where the money is going to get divvied up. I said that being in the legislature was like a walk in the park compared to this job.
Okay.
And I still say that, even though I know it's a tough proposition to be in the legislature making decisions for the entire state. But we came into this job, and the number of crises and problems and challenges that this city faces faced at on July 1st and faces here on January 12th. We are a city that's a prototype for what ails America. There are so many issues, problems with public safety, blight, homelessness, affordable housing issues, being able to do economic development, to fix the infrastructure. They've got the water, wastewater problems, but we also have pothole issues and street resurfacing issues. Fortunately, we've been able to find $125 million by cobbling together our 1 cent sales tax. We were able to do a $40 million bond issue, and we got some federal money that we need to find money that we can match to the tune of about $75 million total. And so we've got some promises there, but the problems are massive. We cannot depend entirely upon the state to solve these problems. And one of the things that I was gratified to find out about is that there are a number of corporations and foundations for whom Jackson checks a box for. And early on in the administration, we were asked by people, hey, we're interested in Jackson. Give us something. What you got? And I didn't have anything to give them because the city has not done a comprehensive plan in more than a quarter of a century. And so what we then began the work of doing is to spend 3.5 months to come up with a document which we call Jackson Rising. And it's like a phase one of a comprehensive plan. We've got to finish out the comprehensive plan, but we've done enough with the help of over 300 participants who spent more than 1,000 hours putting together some meat on the skeleton of a group of task forces. It was 14 task forces that we put together that speaks to blight, that speaks to human capital development, economic development, housing, the unhoused, and so on and so forth. And so we've got a document now that we can put in people's hands. And as a matter of fact, in a few minutes, I'm about to go to make my pitch to the lieutenant governor about what the state has an appetite to help Jackson with. And
Well, I'm sure you know from your past job, having that comprehensive plan, here's what we want to do. I mean, that helps with the legislature, correct, as opposed to...
Yes, we think it'll help with, in addition to corporations and foundations, that the state needs to see something as well.
Sure.
And so we're going to be making some requests that deal with water, sewer, that deal with infrastructure, and that also deal with blight elimination and the unhoused. And in point of fact, one of the most important things is we're not asking a whole lot in comparison to the water, wastewater, or infrastructure, but the unhoused is a major problem in our community. And what I experience is that so many smaller communities around Mississippi will get the unhoused, the homeless, pile them up in a van, drive them to Jackson, and drop them off in downtown in front of the
Certainly
Union
been
Station train station,
the
the bus
legend
station.
we've heard anyway, definitely.
Well, we've got video
Document.
documents, certain police departments even that are dropping folks off. We've got anecdotal evidence and some statistical evidence. When you ask people, you do intake on them, and you say, so how did you get here? Oh, well, they put me in a car and told me I had to come here, and that I was going to get help here. A lot of these folks have substance abuse issues. They have mental health issues, and there's, of course, the issue of housing. And we believe, justifiably so, that there's a role for the state to play in helping us to come up with solutions to this. We can't do it by ourselves. The problem is just too great. But we're also asking for, we've got $46 million from the Federal Highway Administration, and we've got to find a $29 million match to do some major projects like Woodrow Wilson. It's resurfacing, and then the Medgar Evers Boulevard that leads to the Medgar and Merle Evers Historic National Park. We've got issues with McDowell Road down south, McDowell Road extension, along with a bunch of arterial roads that need help, and also traffic improvements. And so we've got to find $29 million to match that. And so we're going to the legislatures to see if we can get some help, maybe not for the whole amount of the match, but that's $75 million that we could put on our streets, 46 from the feds, and then 29 million from either the city or hopefully the state. And we've got a situation where we've got to figure out how how to turn around Jackson Water's financial fortunes so that we're not upside down as much as we are.
Sure. Well, Mayor, we certainly don't want to hold you back from meeting with the Lieutenant Governor and making a pitch for some of this stuff. But really appreciate you coming on and giving an update. And I hope this is the first of many appearances.
Well, Jeff,
let us know.
we're trying to be as transparent as we know how to be. So being able to do sit-downs like this with Mississippi Today and others, we think it is a good way to keep folks informed. And if folks have questions about, well, why is he doing that? Or what's this about Jackson Water's who saved us? Why are you fighting with Jackson Water? So there's another perspective that needs to be shared from time to time.
Sure. Well, again, really appreciate you coming on, and hope to be getting updates from you soon as the session goes on.
Well, Jeff Pender, one thing I figured out is you know where to find me.
Right. Well, I miss you at the legislature, but
yes, sir.
Anyway, good talking with you again.
Well, I've got a good replacement, and she's a whole lot better looking.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.